My take on it really fast. It's amazing. It was one of the most useful things when it comes to me actually understanding how this world works, and more importantly, getting better at talking about what I'm doing. After that company, I went through Techstars, done a whole bunch of other things, won several pitch competitions. Just everything I learned on how to present and talk about what I'm doing in a clear and concise way was worth every single minute of that time. And especially now that I'm in a very fun industry of building stuff that most people, it takes a while for them to wrap their head around it. So when I say building flying cargo ships, most people's brain stops working for a few seconds. And then I have to explain what it actually is and how it applies to commercial cargo, defense, all the fun things for it. So everything that I learned going through this has been key to being able to do that now. Yeah, excited to have y'all here, find out more about the program, get to hear from our advisors, and now I'm going to kick it off to our fearless leader so that he can talk a little bit more about everything that's involved and what the kind of next steps and future plan roadmap looks like.
I don't know if I need it, but I can try.
I can try.
No, I don't need it. How y'all doing?
Y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all good? You can hear me in the back. I know you can. Thank y'all for being here. I know like 15% of y'all. So that's good. Hopefully I can get to like close to 60 to 80% by the end of the night. My name is Martin. Martin Martinez. Yeah, I know. Parents call me that. I've been in Texas a long time. I've been a part of this thing called the Founder Institute for as long as I've been here in Texas. So I'm grateful for all here. How many of you have ever heard of Founder Institute? Raise your hand. All right, how many of y'all have applied to Founder Institute? Usually when you apply, you show up for this event. All right, how many are enrolled? All right. All right, we got some new folks here. We've got to find the enrolled. If you're enrolled, come and find these people. Find me. Welcome to the fam. Don't quit. There's a high probability that one of you two will quit. I am grateful for y'all here. We like to do these events at least once a month. I'm an events producer by trade, but it's not about me tonight. It's about the people that have gone through this. I can only just talk about it at length, but it's better that you hear it from people who have actually gone through this. We're going to work with me, our community. We spent a lot of time building. Building a community is very much like building a startup, and I've built a few. But I want to just take in this space for a second. Take it in. Look at that. That's beautiful, ain't it? Courtesy of our friends at Late Month. So you're going to see this, and we're going to kind of go through the welcomes and intros, all that fun stuff. So I want you to give a good round of applause to our friends at Late. They're going to come up, tell you a little about why, what they do, and how they might be able to help you. And I hope you get to see and connect with them more. Sam, want to come up?
I can do it from here.
All right. Come up to it.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming to our office. We're really happy to be able to host everybody. Great to work with our team. Latham & Watkins is an international law firm. We work in Austin with founders and VCs from the very beginning to what I do, which is a little later stage, which is IPOs. But my partner, Scott Craig, starts very early with a lot of founders, and that's his whole practice. We're really excited to be here, and hopefully we get a chance to work with some of you. I will do a shameless legal plug. We do unwind cap tables late in the process, and I know that a lot of people think that your formation docs are very form-based, but we do see nightmare scenarios, and having someone looking over your shoulders in the beginning can be very helpful. So that's the end of my shameless plug, and I'll turn it back over to Martin. Well, we bill by the hour, so.
Thank you. Please appreciate, that we get a chance. It takes a lot of work to build kind of relationships that allow us in places like this. So I'm grateful for it. Always have been. I think you get a little jaded by it after almost a decade doing it. That every day, every time we do this, it always allows me like, wow, startup journey's hard. So when you get to stand in a place like this, it reminds you why you do it. And all of you here today validate those feelings. So thank you. Thank you for the dopamine hits. So here's me. I don't need to talk too much about that. But I've been doing a lot of stuff for a long time. I'm an event guy for the most part. I love events. It's like my expression of art, basically. I have like multiple projects I'm working on that are event related. I just call art projects. But Founder Institute has been a part of my life for about a decade. But I had started multiple companies before that. I started my early career at Facebook and Google. I'll tell you those stories. You buy me a drink later, we'll leave this place. I won't tell you now. You gotta pay by the hour. I do a lot of public speaking. I guess I'm particularly good at that. That's one of the skills that I bring to this program that maybe other programs, especially online ones, I'm sure those of you that apply are like, I'm just gonna sit at home on Zoom and fold laundry, listen to shit. I swear sometimes too. So I hope you forgive me. But I think one thing about the in-person experience is that you're just pitching on Zoom. You're not really going to be good when you pitch in public. You really won't. And one thing you're going to hear about every single one of these people getting on the dice to talk to you today is that they can command a microphone, talk about anything, and make you feel passionate about that. Right? That's one thing the in-person programs, which, by the way, we're the only ones in the world in Texas that run about 200 cities, 100 countries around the world. So Founder Institute at large is focused on this singular vision that the world will be a better place with the Silicon Valley ethos of changing the world, having the resources and the network and the opportunities and the people to tell you what not to do. We're here versus there. So I bought into that vision in about 2016 when I met our founder, Deo. He's become a good friend and a mentor to me. But also, I've been able to devise my own vision of Texas. He's given me the opportunity to do so. We're 4 cities: Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and obviously here. But right now in 2017, everyone's like, where the hell are you, kid? Why are you here? Like, I've always been here, but my vision has always been to connect this state in a meaningful way so that we're not having to look to the coasts. We're not having to compete with each other either. We're to help and support each other based on what we're great at. And if you ever find yourself in one of these cities, you have a community of people that are going to support you as well as soon as you walk in the door. Right? Some of you told me that you just moved to town, so welcome. Glad you found us. So you might have just been here for a handful of years. Some of you have been here longer than me. Like Ryan. I've been here a long dang time. I've been here about 20 years. But that's been my vision. So I hope you experience that if you are joining this program. Next up, you already said everything on that. So a lot of our founders have raised money. We've launched a lot of companies. Probably more than any other organization in this state. And I'm not exaggerating that. A lot of them support, coming to town, they do all this blah blah, but like literally launching companies. I don't know if there's another organization in this state that's done that. Truly. A lot of companies go on it. Riley's one of those folks on the tech star. But we invested in Draper, just a lot. I'll let them talk. We do a lot of events, as I mentioned. It's just a sampling of what we did last year. A full gamut. Oh, there's you, Olivia. Olivia was hosting our Sunday Sanctuary event back in 2024 now. She'll tell you about that one still, but we might talk about that later. But we do panels, we get monthly events. And a part of the community is that you get to experience these, you get to be a part of it, you get to contribute. I'll put you on a panel. I'll let you lead the damn show. I love doing that. Not only do I teach you how to speak, I'll teach you how to run an event. Events are just as hard. Treat every event like it's unstarted. This is our Houston community. Just from earlier this year. We worked really close with Canon over there, and it's our second longest running community. We started here in Austin. They launched in 2019. San Antonio is our newest one. So we're still growing that one. We're actually going to be closely aligning with the Texas Venture Alliance. Come on in. Come on. Have a seat. Grab some lunch. So more to come there. We're all over the state. We have a lot of great partners. At the economic development level, at the events and startup level. So if you see a very prestigious organization, they probably talk. If they haven't, I question their intent. Demo days. These are our demo days. You finish the program, put you on a big ass stage like this. I talk to somebody really cool that's going to teach you some stuff. And then I put you pitch in front of like 200 people. This might give you anxiety right now if I said, hey, you, Satish, come up here and pitch. You're like, By the end of it, you're like, yes, give me the mic. Every single one can do this, so hopefully. But those are always fun times, and it's a culmination. Demo day is December 11th. One thing that was very unique, that after about 8 years of work, we brought Founder X to town. It's our global conference. We've been running that for about 8 years. It's like when I first started. So that was a big undertaking. 41 countries came to Texas for 3 days of program. It was incredible. It nearly killed me, but it was incredible. So we led up in South by Southwest. It was a fantastic time. Some of our key partners, South by, UT Austin, Oregon, all came and supported. And yeah, we got the world. And a lot of our founders that were involved and participated there connected. Really see why we do it. Hope I have a chance to do it again, so any of y'all coming in for this fall cohort get a chance to see it too. Don't just come for that, come for you. Man, so yeah, we had some good speakers. Y'all might recognize his face. Jay Cal, Big Credit Family, Drew Cheek, Allison at Poppy. They sold for $2 billion, almost $2 billion to Pepsi that following Monday. They did not tell me that. I was kind of mad. They were literally going through like paperwork in the green room. And she didn't tell me. I was so mad. We also had the state, the Capitol was there. They recognized the governor's office. So, like I said, we got some stuff. But anyway, so, well, one thing we announced, and this might pique some of your interest that have applied, and it's like, I don't know. We just launched a venture fund. We announced it at Founder X. It's called Founder Capital. Gabe might speak a little bit to it during the panel, so save those questions for him. Though we have a venture fund, we're going to be deploying checks, writing checks, starting now to the end of the year, especially for you. I'll be vouching for you. I'll vouch for you too if you finish this program. So there's some runway at the end of the finish line if you finish the program. So only for FI on that. Only for FI. We're just here to kind of look and see. I should have some mind up saying what. See you at the next one. Applications, Sunday is the final deadline. So maybe it's like, oh, I'm just discovering this now. This is great for me. I'm going to go with that. It's a simple application. We start on September 16th, demo day, December 11th. So dedicate the fall for this. I would encourage you, just dedicate this time. Most of you will quit. That's okay. It's buying your time. Not every idea has a straight to actually become a company. It's better you make that decision in less than 4 months than spend 4 years of your life. For $40,000 of your time and financing to build something that nobody uses. That's what this program really does for all of us. It also teaches you when to quit. Some people will quit, like on week 2, and thank me, I'm like, that's weird. Others will quit years later and say that was the best thing that happened, which is whatever I'm doing now. I learned lessons that are getting me better at it because of what we learned in that room. It's not the end, it's just the beginning. If I've been good, yeah, just my tenure, almost a decade, I said, I'm not here tonight. So follow us, tag us, do the taggy tags, do that stuff. You can hit it. There's signs over here, so don't hit the screenshots. We have one more event. It's going to kick off the cohort on the 10th of September next month over at Friends Bar, East End Ballroom. If you've been to Central Machine Works, it's literally right next door, east of it. Really cool spot, great music program. We're going to have some great people. As I mentioned, we're close to South by Southwest, so they're going to have some special announcements. Curious about South by Southwest. I know there's been a lot of change. I have my ear to the rails, so you might come up to me asking for some stuff. But I'd rather have you all meet the team there too. We're really close to it. So we're going to share some things at JustWorks as well. We're going to have some cool sponsors, and the venue is up to this. We might be hosting some things at South by Southwest there too, so y'all get to see this place before it goes. But let's kick it. I want to introduce you to Gabriel Rucker. Gabriel, been a more recent grad, but he's also building something amazing that's for founders. Aligns really closely with the Founder Institute mission, Texas vision, and he'll tell you. So everybody, please give it up, Gabriel. All right, Gabriel Bancho, you put on the mic.
Yeah, let's, well, while I get this microphone actually situated really quick, Hopefully that, oh wow, that's loud.
That's why I said keep tweaking it.
Yeah, my name is Gabriel Rucker. I'm the Associate Director here for Founder Institute in Austin, Texas. I also went through the program myself in fall of 2023 for my company, Founding Titans. I've been having some amazing traction with that. We actually have a lot of events that we host both in Austin and online for founders, entrepreneurs, investors, all those things. We're essentially creating a community-focused relationship optimization platform. But don't want to talk about me because we have a lot of amazing panelists that we want to bring up. And really quick, before we get into the panel, I do want to give a little bit more context for the fund. So essentially, we just had a call on Monday with the office out in LA, SF, and essentially $25K for the first check. We're basically going to be writing about 50 checks per year across all of our cohorts, essentially from there. And then there's 2 other tranches after that. So say you've already graduated from the program, okay, well if your product's out in the market and everything else, then you have the opportunity for a 150K check or potentially 175K towards the tail end of the different tranches that we're investing in. So there's a little bit more context. We'll have a lot more information as we continue to get it from HQ, but they actually just told us officially on Monday that we're able to provide a little bit more context into what the fund is able to provide. And this is only for grads with their products out in market. They actually have a good amount of traction. Basically the same things that we ask for from our subsequent program, Funding Lab. You don't have to go through Funding Lab to be able to get the checks written, but we want to make sure that we're also making solid investments through the program as well. And so enough of that. I want to go ahead and bring on some of our amazing panelists. So if you guys want to come up here and then go ahead.
Give it up for us.
Hey everybody, how we doing?
Great.
Good? Still with us? Let's have some fun.
Awesome. I don't think you guys can hear me well enough from this down here, so I'm gonna hold this guy and we're gonna kick it off. So, you've got the mic, Arturo, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Arturo. I went through cohort 3, so just after Riley, so I guess like 7 years ago. Honestly, like amazing experience. I remember like driving up to our cohort, to our class, like super nervous. Like I remember my thumb getting numb, just like I knew I was gonna pitch, Martine was gonna grill me. But honestly, left that program after 14 weeks, 13 weeks, just so much better, stronger, capable to do stuff like this with awesome people. And just learned a bunch that I'm really excited to hopefully get into, depending on what Gabe gets into. But it's an honor to be in front of you guys today. Looking forward to some good conversations and engaging Q&A. And if you guys are going to buy Martine a drink later, you also have to buy me a drink later. Up next.
Hi there, I'm Lena Router, and I was in the May 2023 cohort. I have a company called Looking Glass. We're a fashion tech company that tells people what to wear every day using computer vision, AI, and lifestylist. I have a nursing background, so I knew nothing about startup land or investment or anything like that. So this was just such a safe space for me to kind of come, ask them questions, and really surround myself with people that have been there before.
Hi everyone, my name is Olivia McDonald. I'm the founder of Tap Integration. Thank you all for being here. We would love you to come a little bit closer. If anyone's interested in just like creeping in a little closer, that would be amazing. I have a question. Who here has done psychedelics? Today? Right. You take your microdose today. Yes. So our software platform simplifies psychedelic aftercare. We help maximize neuroplasticity after a psychedelic experience to really help you see long-term changes in your life, provide the support that's needed after a big experience like that.
Oh, amazing. And thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate you guys for coming in today. And so let's kick it off with basically talking about some of you guys' backstories and really how you guys came to being entrepreneurs. So, basically starting off with, your current venture, what were you doing before all of this, right? Creatively, professionally, or whatever it is, what was really driving you before you started?
Yeah, sure. So, I've always kind of had to be an entrepreneur. Dropped out of college, played in rock and roll bands growing up, didn't really have a plan. And then moved to Austin, Googled how to start a business, and then like kind of figured it out from there. But I first got introduced to FI and Martine, just I had an idea, but I didn't really know what to do for that one specifically. It was new to me, it was tech, it was an app. We're talking like 7 years ago, so I was trying to do the Uber for something else. And really just didn't know where to start. Like I needed something to kind of kick me into high gear and just go through the motions, which probably would have taken me forever, right? So went through the program. That idea, thanks to the support from Martine and others, I realized probably wasn't going to be the moonshot or was going to help me long term. So ended up killing it, but ended up taking a lot of what I learned into other ventures, into other startups, and have been, I don't know, I think it's been like 3 other companies that I've been the founder of or an early stage employee. I've been able to see 2 exits and now have transitioned over to VC full time. And getting back into sort of day one stuff, but with a little money and working with founders hands on.
Awesome.
Before doing this, I was a nurse, and then I was a stay-at-home mom, and then had a massive problem that I decided I was going to try to solve. So I didn't seek to be an entrepreneur. I didn't even want to do it once it was nagging at me for several months, but it's something that just really kept eating at me, and the problem kept getting bigger, and people kept reaching out. It was just something that I just felt really compelled to try to tackle. But again, I didn't have this dream of being an entrepreneur when I grew up. I just really fell in love with solving a problem.
So I've been a psychedelic assisted therapist for the last 6 years. What led me to that path was desperately seeking a solution for my own complex PTSD. I had a very interesting and unique childhood. I grew up in an international cult, and so left that with a very interesting set of challenges that I needed to work through and find a solution for. MDMA therapy changed my life, and I decided that I wanted to dedicate my life to being of service in that same way for other people. So I've been working in that field for about 6 years and recognized that there was a really big gap in the industry for the aftercare, the integration process, what happens afterwards. Having to navigate all of that on my own after having this beautiful realization of all of the things that had impacted me, but not knowing what to do with it afterwards. So I developed a program for integration that really helps people to bridge the insights that come through these experiences into their daily life, how to create relationships, bridge the generational gap, how to explain what's going on, the processes that you're going through with other people, so that you don't lose relationships. So that's one little aspect of the integration work that we do. So our software platform is actually B2B. We work with facilitators, practitioners to help them to create those relationships with those clients and offer them long-term support without the tedium of managing those relationships. So I am also really thankful to Martine. I actually met up with him a couple of years ago because I wanted to talk to him about events. He's this big event guy. And he told me about Founders Institute. And I was like, boy, I have this idea, I think, for a startup, but I'm a very non-technical person. I've been a practitioner for a long time. And he's like, why don't you join the Founders Institute? So for me, it set this foundation of understanding what the startup world is all about, what it entails, what it requires. And I was bringing in this idea that might as well have been, in Chinese to the investors and the advisors, and they just did not know what I was talking about. So they helped me take this very niche concept and create language around it that became, that resonated with people that heard it. So after that, I was able to actually communicate what I do in a way that most people can understand. So it was really helpful in that way amongst others, and just being able to communicate what we do.
Oh, amazing. That kind of answered the next question that I was going to ask a little bit. So kind of heard about that, Olivia, but I want to kick it off to everybody else as well, which is, what really sparked you joining FI, or really why FI when you were, choosing what program you wanted to get into, and what were some of the things that you really, learned throughout the process that really kind of sparked the rest of your journey?
every day I would get on the computer and I would get targeted by like, you need to do this marketing webinar, you need to do sales, you need to like get on Pinterest, and your brain just goes a million different ways. And I was lucky enough to be in another group for female founders that I had just joined, and someone took some time to mentor me and said, you really need an accelerator. Like, you need a group of people, you're doing this by yourself. And so I started looking into accelerators and then saw that there was one here in Austin. It was early stage, perfect for where I was at. And I think it just really helped break things down for me in a way that I could understand and it wasn't so overwhelming. Because I had spent, I don't know how many months before, just one day I would try to set up a Pinterest account. The next day I would try to get, social media contacts. And the next day I would, work on my website. I was all over the map. And so once I got into the accelerator, what was really beneficial was like the streamline and just the bite size. This week we're doing this, the next week we're doing this, and you could just really see how with 14 weeks you're going to go from A to Z, and there were all the people along the way to do office hours, answer your questions, and to make sure that you got to the next week.
I know even when I was going through the program specifically, like I had to really have a lot of that structure kind of ingrained into me, but then after you really learn a lot of those different things, you're able to draw back from it, right? So I even go back into some of the old homework and things like that to, edit our revenue models or, go through our go-to-market strategy again, because as the company evolves, you're still kind of hitting some of those main base points that you're talking about there. But I'd love to hear from you, Rusher, as well, like some of the things that kind of sparked everything, even maybe specifically for you, because you've both been on the founder end and on the VC side, how some of those pieces actually helped you with becoming a great investor today.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, like the idea that I had before joining Alumni was like a personal problem. It was a shit idea, but which is great, right? Like it was great for me to realize that, because if I would have spent, like Martin said at the beginning of the conversation today, God knows how long, how much money of my own capital, which I didn't have, on this idea that like just wasn't like a business or a VC-backed business. Like who knows what? Let's say that I wasted 4 years of that. A lot of good happened after those 4 years. So like who knows what my trajectory would have been? But specifically, my idea was like I had been in startups for a bit at that time, so I was planning on just doing like a smoke screen test. If you guys are familiar with that, I was just gonna put up like a landing page and see like how many people would sign up for this thing, even though the thing didn't exist, which can be a great way to engage, folks and kind of like validate their very quick idea. But messaging was wrong. I had no idea what I was saying. I was like messaging it, like everything was just not ready even for that, even though that's a very quick and dirty validation, if you want to call it that. So instead of wasting my time, probably money on ads and just anything to try to validate this horrible idea that I had, I went through the program, got the structure that you talked about, where every week I got to focus on, well, how am I going to actually make money on this idea that I have? I'm like, who is my customer, right? Like very specifically, I remember Martine and others grilling me while I was pitching. They're like, who is this for? And like I didn't know, or maybe I didn't even know how to like word it, right? So just going through the motions, like not just emotions, that wasn't good enough value, but going through the steps that you will have to take as a founder in a very structured way with advisors and mentors and people like Martine, Gabe, and this amazing ladies next to me. Like you're gonna have to do that anyway. So that just helped me do it faster, stronger, validated, so I'm not just like in my room kind of like hoping for the best, right? Or like Googling what is marketing. So yeah, it was just like a structure and just helping me learn quicker, even if like that learning wasn't the outcome that I wanted. And that's very specific time, which was that one idea, right? But to your point earlier, even like at my last real job, I remember like I dusted off some of the homework because I had this organization of like 60-something engineers, and I was like, I don't even remember, like I need to like conceptualize these things that I know. And I remember it was like one of the classes or one of like the homeworks, and I was like, cool, yeah, let me just do that presentation again. And like it just clicked for everybody immediately, right? Like so it came back many years later. Did that answer your question? Because I feel like
No, 100% answer my question, right? Like And even then, I feel like a lot of the points that you drew in, like, so for me, I'm actually about to start Funding Lab, like, next week, which is like the subsequent portion of the program that we have. But even, like, I was looking at some of the mentor, like, feedback that you gave me initially. Like, because my idea initially kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. You liked certain parts of it, but was it that great? Not really, right? So that's why we pivoted and did some of the changes. But it really, it also teaches you a little bit more of that tough skin to be able to not only just apply those fundamentals, but also really, like, is my baby ugly? Is it viable, right? Like, is it breathing in the bassinet, right? Like, those are some things that you really have to figure out. And I mean, that's the greatest thing about accelerator programs in general, not just Five, is really, even with getting your, investors, advisors, all these different things, if you don't really know how to take feedback, nobody's gonna work with you, or nobody's gonna want to, have that information, so it's always important. And then, I don't know if you had anything else to add for that, Olivia, so we kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit before, if you have anything you want to, like, jump in on.
Yes, the support was so incredible for me. I had one of the advisors, one of the directors from the Founders Institute meet with me every single morning for 5 months, helping direct me, telling me exactly what I needed to do, where I needed to go, and didn't ask for anything in return. And that was the type of support that I received nonstop from the Founders Institute. I felt so supported, and like I could call at any time or text or if I had a question. And Gabe was actually in the same cohort as me, but was so knowledgeable and was so like generous with his time and just jumping on helping with my deck. I'm also competitive, so that was a really good environment for me to push myself because I wanted like the highest score on the pitch, So I really worked really hard at it, and it was the right environment for me to be able to really excel.
I think there were certain moments where all of you wanted to murder me. Like, certain moments with like the feedback and everything. I was very surprised at the end. Everybody's like, "Oh no, actually, it was really helpful." Like, everybody just had that competitive founder mindset. Where like, we all at the end of the day want to be the best that we can be, even if we're not in different industries. But it's also like, at the end of the day, helping each other out for a lot of different aspects, and that kind of ties into another thing as well. So I mean, what's some information that you really got from the program that either challenged your viewpoint on your startup or any of the other things that you've gone along with the process for? And what's even if you did do a pivot, what was that one factor that really made you make that shift?
Yeah, for me, it was trying to figure out if we were going to go direct to consumer or B2B. And eventually we actually kind of launched both to test it out. And I've been working with building a facilitator community in Austin. I launched a big conference, and we had about 200 people show up, and through the data I got from there, decided to go all in B2B. So it was through trial and error that I got there, but definitely the Founders Institute provided me with the right thought process in terms of deciding which way to go. But because it was such a new market, I just kind of had to figure it out as I went. So yeah, strategic thinking was really helpful.
I think one thing they reiterated a lot in my cohort was to constantly go back to your customers, like go back to the people that you want to buy your product and ask them, like, would you use this feature before you actually build the feature? Like, go to your followers on Instagram, take a poll. And so that's something that we continually do. We just finished a focus group with women in New York, and before we finish building some of our AI features, we asked them, like, would this be helpful? And I graduated 2 years ago, and I'm still constantly going back to our subscribers and our network and asking those questions.
I think for me specifically was like the revenue model, which you've done some research, like maybe it's not that complicated, but finding the right one can be a challenge. And at that point in time, ads were very hot. Like, oh yeah, I'll just make money through ads when I get 1 billion daily users. Well, how are you gonna get 1 billion daily users? So it was just kind of drilling down into like the reality of like, okay, cool. So you said you're gonna make money on ads. You're gonna have all these people. How are you gonna get those people? Who are those people? As I mentioned earlier. And for me, the realization of the pivot, right, when I decided that this isn't what I want to do or need to do at this time, was that it was a cool idea, like, but a horrible business. I know I've grilled on it quite a bit, and maybe we can talk about what it was later. But that's a big reality of it, right? Like, it made me realize that it's cool, but it wasn't viable business. Like, it wasn't a pain point that would require billions of users or millions, whatever it was, to be able to actually monetize it with ads. So it just snowballs after that, right? If I want to go raise venture capital, then like how am I going to get money back from my investors, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, that was like one very quick, big realization as part of the program, whatever week that is, week 6, and you're talking about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And for the last, whatever, I thought it was easy, it was a done deal, and then we just go do it, right?
And then another thing that I wanted to ask you guys, and this may be an easy one to answer or not, but I'm going to toss it at you guys. Like with utilizing the FI network, right? Like after you guys, graduated or even during the process, like how do you guys use that or even tap back into that with your current companies and the progress there?
Well, one of the directors that just helped me for, until I launched and gave me some of the greatest ideas that the company has had, including the conference and monthly meetups with facilitators was really huge. And then the events that Founders Institute throws, I usually meet somebody that becomes really pivotal for the company that I'm building. So.
What was that question?
Yeah, so basically, like, how do you tap back into the network with FI, like since your launch or even while you were in the program?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the one place where you can go and just, my friend group doesn't necessarily understand what I'm going through, my spouse doesn't necessarily know what I'm going through, but it's the one place where you can just go, damn, this is hard, and everybody there gets it. So I constantly am reaching back out to people in my cohort or looking for events to reconnect.
I'll give a shout out to Gabe. A very recent example is he connected me with some awesome people. Now that I'm on the VC side, and we met a couple years ago when he was going through the program, and I was trying to help being a mentor, and now he's helping me with some connections in the VC space. So, like literally, this happened in the last couple of weeks. So like, it's very real, very very raw, and obviously that wouldn't happen if we weren't both part of this network.
Yeah, and huge shout out for Arturo. He's going to be on Daryl Federer's office hours on Friday for basically listening to a couple of founders' pitches and giving feedback through that. So glad I was able to help you out there. But even, for me personally too, I got 3 advisors when I was going through with the program, but also even then, like the connections after the fact of some of the happy hours and everything. Still meeting with people. Apparently, Martine convinced me to be a director for some reason. I don't know. EIR last year, and now I'm still here. But yeah, and that's what was it called? Amazing for like how everybody really helps each other after we kind of go through all of that. But also for you too, Arturo, because you're a mentor now as well. So, what kind of sparked your decision to actually, continue to kind of work with the program and then kind of be on the other side, even before you were really investing? It sounds like.
Yeah, so I got involved again because I had some good luck and wasn't working, and really just wanted to plug back in and see what people were doing. And like the first time I did it, I left super energized. Like honestly, just going through the sessions. I was there literally every single week. Like the first one there, last one out, hanging out with my team, talking to a lot of you guys. So I think both of you were there for that one. And I would just be pumped and energized, and I felt good about it was good for my soul to be involved in this group again. And that was for me that was good enough, right? I feed off of the founder energy. I love people that are solving really tough problems and are here because they need to be as part of their DNA, right? As part of who you are as a person, you're building stuff and you're solving real problems, and I feed off of that personally. In return, maybe I can help a little bit. So that's also maybe a little bit of good comment from me. I don't know. But no, honestly, very selfishly, I leave these sessions and I leave the cohorts energized and ready to kind of take on the world again tomorrow. Because we all have to work. Work isn't always fun. Life can suck some days, and then founder and VC work can be harsh and lonely sometimes, and so GD. So yeah, it's honestly very energizing, and I love getting involved in it. I think I do get more out of it than what I could learn.
No, perfect. And it is a very lonely game, honestly. So what do you guys do to, I know Lana kind of talked a little bit about, tapping back into the network for actually kind of helping with some of that stuff, but how do you guys deal with this process of being an entrepreneur, right? How do you deal with the loneliness or, having certain things or questions really a lot of people, like your friends or family or whatever else, just might not understand.
Be super quick. Like, I can sit in my room and think about a problem forever, and like not make a lot of progress, or think I'm making a lot of progress, and then like Gabe will call me or I'll call him, and like we'll just talk about something, and we're gonna like boom, in 15 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly like what I need to do next. So just getting out of my own head, out of my own sort of feelings, and my office is painted black, so like literally my dark back cave just helps me think better, faster, stronger, and like be able to just go do what I need to do. So that alone is definitely worth it.
This is a little side on that, but I had a point last year where I was just at a block. I just, like, worst week ever, nothing was working out, and I felt so uninspired, I wanted to quit, and I texted Martine, and I was like, can I come to session tonight? I just want to sit in, I just want to hear what people are building, I want to see how they're going, going to market, or some cool things that they're trying to launch, and different ways to do it, and I left there so inspired, and I like tackled the next week no problem. But to your point, like the founder journey is so isolating, and I don't think you can understand it unless you're in it. I know I could have never imagined what this would be like until physically in it. But I think surrounding yourself with the community, and especially the ones that make it through the program. We haven't alluded to that yet, but the program's really hard. And the one thing that I think is so cool is that when you get to the end of the program, the people that are standing there are there for the long haul. Like I did this a couple years ago. Me and my team still stay in touch regularly. Like those, it's almost like you went to battle together. Like you know how hard it is, and so if you can make it through that, the advisors will help you, the mentors will help you. Like they will be around whenever you need them.
So I feel like I've gotten as far as I've gotten on relationships and my ability to inspire people to help. So I have a lot of volunteers that have been helping me along the way, and they're there for a time. And so, they're helping me along, and then they're like, okay, can't keep doing this for free. So then I'm like, off to inspire more volunteers. And it's been a struggle to have to cycle through volunteers. And at one point, I just got to a place where I was like, that's it. I've gone as far as I could get. There's an app in the App Store. I didn't even think I could get that far. And literally, I've used all my resources to get to this place. Do not know what else to do. I went to an ayahuasca ceremony that weekend. And I knew that Tuesday, so like 2 days later, I was supposed to do a 1-minute pitch at Fiesta at Capital Factory. And so one of my intentions going in was, I need a new 1-minute pitch that is going to inspire people and so that they know what I'm talking about. And between like puking and crying, like this 1-minute pitch came through, and I was like, yes. So that Tuesday I pitched, and it really spoke to who's my now CPO. He came up, he's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been through that. I want to help you. And so I feel really fortunate that this project has been moving itself along. And every time I just kind of surrender and I'm like, I don't know what else to do. If you want this to keep going, send somebody, help me, like just help me keep going. In the nick of time, I've had that check written, or I had somebody come up and say, I want to help you. So there's been a big element of just kind of letting go and just being in trust that if this project is supposed to keep going, it'll happen. And it's still going somehow, so yeah.
If I can add, because I think we've covered a lot of like the founder side of it, right? Like the people you graduated with and like the connections you make is almost like, I hope this isn't sensitive, but like the trauma bonding, right? Because like it is hard.
That's what I hear.
But I also just want to give like, on the mentor side, right? Like I don't have to do this. Martine has built an amazing network throughout the state of Texas and beyond, because it's also the national FI network. And those folks like are around because they want to. So they're cool enough to like when you reach out to be like, yeah, what's up? Like let's dig in. What's your problem? Your market. You're starting a 1-minute pitch. You know who your customer is. That's why this network has been built on our team, and we're a great team. So they're there to help you. So like that's pretty damn valuable. You can't just like call some executive at whatever company or some rich guy and be like, hey, can you help me? But an FI, you kind of can. They're there for that reason.
I've tried it. It's way easier to do it through the FI network than doing it cold. You can, but it's not as effective, trust me. But wanted to go into, after you guys finish the program, like, what's your company doing now? How are things progressing? Like, I know, Arturo, now you're on the VC side, so we want to time that when we get back to you because you're you're passing the mic down. But you know, I just want to learn from like how things going with investors, how things going with the company, all the different trials and tribulations, just that stuff.
Yeah, so when I got out, I tried to raise around, went out and dabbled a little bit, and got some feedback that I needed to focus on my team and the tech. So I stepped back from fundraising, put my head down. We brought on the CTO, it was ex-Meta, we brought on another developer, and they really helped me lead into the AI side, and which is, I was hearing a lot about from investors too, like how does it scale, right? How are you gonna go faster? I'm happy to report, we had built our version 0.5 of our computer scanning model that can scan closets and identify all the items in your closet. And then we've trained 2 models now as stylists to be able to tell you what to wear every day based on what's in your closet. We're taking that tech and we're demoing it in 2 weeks at New York Fashion Week. And yeah, we're gonna go back out there.
Some applause for that.
We're gonna go back out there and try to raise $1 million.
Will it be like, throw that out immediately? Awesome. Sorry. We have a software platform. We have over 200 facilitators on it in beta. We are taking our facilitator meetup to national, so our next one will be in Albuquerque this weekend, where we have the policymakers that legalize psilocybin in New Mexico that are going to be there, and we are we bootstrapped to this point, so we've gone as far as we have with under $30,000, and we're just raising a little bit more so that we can implement the new features that we're working on. But we really want to make sure that we have a product that brings value before we raise more money than we need to.
I love it.
So what am I doing? So on the VC side, we're still pitching. I still got to talk to LPs. So the skill sets I got from our team, like speaking to people, you know, how to be clear in your messaging, like that still comes to play every day. I probably do like 15, 20 pitches a week to LPs who invest in funds, right? So the game hasn't really changed. So I'm still a founder, just raising money to then spend it on companies. So that's a full-time gig. Deploying capital, still fundraising to deploy more capital. And honestly, just applying a lot of the learnings from this and everything I did after this, so I can find the companies that hopefully do really great, and then I get to keep my job.
Oh, fantastic! Like the way that you guys as companies are progressing is, I think, inspiring to a lot of people because we've all been on the high parts of the companies, we've all been in some of the low parts. What were some of the recent lows that you had, and how are you able to kind of get out of that? Or even if you're still in it right now, if you just want to talk about it in a minute, let's do it. Like,
yeah, just I'll kick us off. Like, there's a lot of rejection in this world, right? As a founder, you talk to a lot of investors, and you get a lot of rejection, and for a million reasons, right? It could be timing, it could be messaging, it could be a bad idea, it could be a good idea, but it doesn't matter. And that's like part of the VC side too. Like I said just now, I'm fundraising still for my fund, and it is the numbers game, so it is more no's than yes. And like that sucks. Sometimes I'm like depressed at the end of the night, and I'm like, my wife gets home from work, and I'm like, I don't really want to like talk much or like watch TV. I kind of just want to go to bed, and like that sucks. But the repetition, you know, the work that we've put in through programs like this, and then just the perseverance and knowing that we're all doing it and we can support each other, just good enough to work up and do it again tomorrow until we hit that milestone of that success.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I think it's the no's, and I think I was prepared for the no's in fundraising. Like they say, you have to pitch, 100 times to get a yes or whatever it is. But I think I wasn't prepared for the no's beyond that. Like applying to maybe pitch competitions and not getting accepted, or applying to grants or whatever else. There's like no's everywhere you turn. Like we're going to meet something at a networking event, and they're going to be promised to connect you to somebody, like there's a lot of no's, there's a lot of roadblocks, and I think when they start to stack up, day after day, it can get really low, but then if you just kind of hang in there, it'll start to kind of swing the other way. But yeah, the rejection is pretty hard.
Feel that on a spiritual level, by the way.
I think it's been challenging to really forge a new path, and then to have integration all of a sudden be trending super hard this year, and tons of competitors popping up, and people just kind of taking all of the hard work you've done and implementing it into a 5-minute product, and they're not facilitators themselves. So that's been challenging. It's been challenging to watch somebody accomplish something really quickly on the end of telling it all the work that you've done. But ultimately, I really hope that integration becomes as important to everybody else as it is to me and the work that I've been doing. But yeah, that's been a struggle.
And I want to draw into not just FI with this question, right? But in general, what's something that you've learned that you really wish you would have known in the beginning, or just something that you've even learned recently with the current stage that you're in that a lot of people might miss, or that you really think people should just know about?
If I had waited 6 months, we could have built everything I did in 5 minutes, like these other people with the technology that AI has, instead of the money we spent overseas, and the tears and the frustration and the length of time that it took. So yeah, it was kind of like a timing thing with how quickly technology accelerated from when we graduated early last year to today.
Yeah, the AI wave right now, really wish that was available during my cohort, honestly.
I think early on I was scared to ask the stupid questions. I'm not technical, so being around developers or on calls with developers or AI guys, I just kind of would be quiet and not ask the stupid questions, but that got me in trouble early on. So I wish I would have leaned a little bit and asked the stupid questions.
As a developer myself, I constantly hear stupid questions from a lot of what is it called, engineers. So really, when you guys are building on technical products, nothing is a stupid question. Literally, everybody's trying to come in from a different learning process. So I would echo that strongly. Even today, I had an entire hour-long meeting with one of our developers just because, it started out with, hey, I think I have a stupid question, legitimately. And then we talked about it for an hour. It wasn't a stupid question at all. We ended up planning out the next 6 months in a different way just from that one call, just because it stemmed from a quote-unquote stupid question. So always good to get that feedback from your team, advisors, other people.
I fundamentally believe that none of us know what we're doing. So just go do it. Literally, whatever idea you have, whatever, if it's too scary, too big, it doesn't matter. The people that have been very successful probably also don't know exactly what they're doing. They're figuring it out every day, and I think that's the key sort of value for a really good founder is just perseverance and adaptability. So you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the technical knowledge or all the money or connections. Just literally go do it. If you work harder than the person next to you, you're probably going to be more successful. So don't let knowledge, money, connections, whatever, slow you down. The time is now, even if you don't feel ready. And if somebody looks like they know what they're doing and they got their shit together, they don't. So just, go do it.
I have one final question for you guys, and then we'll kick it off to Q&A. And I don't think this is a question that people really ask on panels, and I feel like we should more, which is, how do you currently help people, and what's something that you really need help with right now that maybe somebody in the audience, whatever it is, might be with?
Help fellow founders? Or
Does-
help our customers, or help?
Whatever you want to take with that question. What's your ask, and then how do you help other people with their asks?
Oh, got it. I'm in a couple different female founder groups, and so I think I help a lot with customers, figuring out who the customers are. I think I've learned a lot from focus groups, so I help set those things up. And then my ask.
Yeah. whatever it is, like
Yeah.
we all need help in our businesses, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like,
Yeah, so my ask would be, we're setting up a wait list for the new tech to demo it, getting as many signups as we can. It should be ready in the next couple months. So I would love for you guys to sign up to try the tech and give us honest feedback when it's ready. How do we do that? It's on our website.
what's your website? Like, where am I going?
LookingGlassLifestyle.com. There's a What We're Building tab, and there you can sign up to be notified when the tech is available. Thank you.
I would say that the main way I help people is through pattern recognition, helping people to connect the dots between certain patterns in their life, why they might be stuck in the same pattern, and how to break out of that pattern to attract new things into their life, new relationships, purpose, career. And something that I would like help with is just more feedback. I love feedback. I love to know how I can communicate better, how I can do a better job, how I can show up better.
I think for me it's pretty easy. So I like to help with like literally monthly office hours for anybody, anywhere. As I said earlier, like it energizes me, challenges me to think outside the box and like look at different problems, and hopefully I can help. Maybe I can't, but at least I'll try. So that's an easy one. Another way now, my job is to deploy capital and invest in people. So hopefully that helps. It should help. And the way that you can help me is kind of the same thing. Just like if you guys are a startup, in a couple different verticals, we can talk about that later. In early stages, this chat. Well, actually, I'll tell you now so you know what I focus on. This is not everything. It's prop tech, supply chain, and health tech, B2B SaaS. So if you don't know what that meant, then probably not the investor for you, but I'm still down to chat. I'd love to chat about all problems in startup land. So happy to help for free, happy to give money in the right circumstances. It's not just like for nothing. And then I could use just more connections, more people doing this stuff.
Perfect. And also, I'll give a shameless plug for Arturo and the fact that if you do know any LPs, send them this guy's way because I love him and I want to make sure that he succeeds. But let's go into QA, guys. So any question, not a dumb question, let's go ahead and answer some of the things that you guys are thinking about right now. Go ahead.
So this is one specifically for Arturo, but anyone else. How are you looking, or are you looking to leverage AI in your business? And if so, how? Or are you looking for businesses that are?
So the question, in case you couldn't hear in the back, am I looking for companies or am I using AI to leverage my returns, which is my job? The answer is yes. So I think right now, personal opinion is it's unlikely that we're going to have an unfair advantage if we use AI just on capability. I also think we need to do more than just throw a little wrapper on top of ChatGPT or whatever. Like, I don't need another content generator or like just a bunch of words or images. I'm looking for interesting ways that people use technology to make systems better, specifically. That could mean anything. So that's kind of my short answer. And then me personally, like, I have an amazing executive assistant, but it is just me and her. So like I made one LinkedIn post and we got over 150 submissions. I built an AI tool to kind of do the first pass. Just a custom GPT that has my sort of brain in there in the way that I look at companies, what I'm looking for, if this is like an easy yes or no. And we're still a human in the loop. It's not just like the AI said don't invest, don't invest. But like that makes me a little bit faster, better. Like it kind of makes you superhuman and able to like. Also, I'm not a builder, I'm a founder, so like I can't just sit here and like look at finance stuff. Like that's not why I'm doing this. So I like to build stuff, and that's essentially why I did it. But it also makes me like better at my job.
For all of us?
I mean, if you have something, if not,
Yeah.
good.
We're using AI to create the customized integration plans for people based on their learning types.
And then I will go. So our AI tells you to where every day based on your weather, location, and your calendar events. So it will specifically train models and our status and train models to tell you wear this for a wedding, wear this for a business lunch, whatever. So that's how we're just doing it.
And I can give some context on 3 different fronts, right? So in general for FI, we have a lot of artificial intelligence that kind of work for like helping with assignments and kind of like some scoring systems and things like that. On the VC side, a lot of funds right now are currently using AI for evaluating deal flow. Like I know Drive Capital uses their own custom-built artificial intelligence and machine learning for an application called Herbie that they're using internally for evaluating all of the founders and potential collaborators and stuff like that on all the deals that they're looking at. And then for us personally, we're actually basically building out our own multitask neural nets for being able to provide recommendations for the right people, businesses, communities, events, and resources for entrepreneurs, communities, and enterprises with the platform we're building with Founding Titans. But also, I mean, I think AI is really a huge thing right now for everybody to where, using it for development, like using Lovable for a lot of things, for getting a quick MVP out or at least getting a mock-up to provide developers. I was just telling Olivia about N8N for using that for being able to optimize workflows for outreach or even a lot of other menial tasks within businesses and stuff like that. There's a lot of different options out there. I think if anybody's interested in getting into AI and they aren't really in it yet, literally just try anything, try a system, see how it works for you, and then figure out what you do and don't like about that system, and then just kind of branch out from there for your specific needs or use cases. There's so many different options, even if you just kind of start with GPT with some of the wrappers and stuff, and then branch out from there. That's how I started. I built out things with, shout out to Google, they've got like AI Studio for building out your own agents very quickly and easily, and then you can really scale stuff up from there. So that'd be some quick advice for everybody on the AI front. Hopefully that answered your question.
Sure, I've been building AIs for over a decade.
Oh, nice.
Already, so.
I'm gonna have to chat about mine. I love talking about AI. So.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any other questions? I saw a hand in the back at a certain point, but I don't know. Awesome. Amy? He said he was going to ask what your company does, which you already described. Yeah, so, good job. But anything else?
I'll ask you a question. I consider myself a super connector, so what is one introduction that each of you would ask for that would elevate your businesses, your mission, your vision? I know Arturo, you kind of talked about it. By the way, is that a limitless one?
Yeah, that's that, yeah. I'll just double down on what he said. If you know and you hang out with individuals investing in funds, that's it.
I would say angel investors specifically in the sustainable fashion or fashion tech space.
Do you know anybody that's connected to the iBegin initiative? Texas?
Off the top of my head, I don't, but I can do a little AI search.
And personally, I'm a super connector myself, building a platform for super connectors, so we should definitely talk. But literally communities and enterprises that really have that same problem that you're kind of solving as super connector, and if you have a larger network, basically, how do you 10x your network? How do you 10x your engagement? That's pretty much what I'm solving there. So if you have anybody, love to chat about that.
Sure.
And I know you had your hand up.
Yeah, I would love to know, it's one thing like this is what I've accomplished, but it's another thing to know what in your entrepreneurial journey are you feeling most proud of? And it could be an epic fail too.
I know you're thinking about something, Olivia. Go ahead, hit us with
I feel most proud that I am considered a success out of Founders Institute when I never in a million years thought I would be doing anything tech related.
I love that. You've been killing it too, just by the way, for everybody. She's been, I am not in the psychedelic space and I see way more things for it. She's doing a great job.
I am most proud of my team. We have a team of 9, and the fact when I look at my team slide, every time I do my pitch, I'm like, how did I convince these geniuses at Meta and all of these other places, Stitch Fix executives, to come and believe in my mission and to join my team?
Yeah, it's not an easy question, but it's not really related to what I do now, but like one of my businesses that I started long ago supports like extended family, like they have jobs, I don't just pay them for nothing, but I'd like to look back and be proud that I started something that gives my mom a salary, my aunt a salary, my sister a salary, and they work hard, so it's cool to know that something I started was able to do that, is able to do that.
And we've got a question right there.
Yeah. What did raising money look like for you guys? process, and then what specifically, independent of your guys' businesses, what specifically do you guys invest in initially, invest in capital in?
I have a really interesting investment story. So since I started Founders Institute, was working with ChatGPT to help me refine the idea of psychedelic integration and what it meant. So when I first started working with ChatGPT, I did not know. And so by constantly reiterating and feeding it more information, it would spit out really clear answers of what it was and just kept refining it. And when you would ask it about psychedelic integration, tab integration would keep coming up. And I actually had one of my first investors find me that way because he wanted to invest in a psychedelic startup. And my exact business model with my name popped up as one of the best ones to invest in. And so he wrote me a check, which is pretty incredible. So that felt really aligned and easy, but then the rest has been through clients that I've worked with on the support cause.
I've had a pretty difficult journey. We are still mostly bootstrapped. I did secure $37,000 from AWS in funding. They built our operating system and we finished that build in July. And now we're in talks with them. They want to fund the next build to build out, to build onto our computer vision model that we have now. So anything else has been me and my husband's money.
Yeah, fundraising's hard, dude. From both sides of it. So, I think for me, the biggest learning and takeaway is the network is super valuable, right? So, you always kind of have to be closing, like ABC, always be closing. And don't be shy to kind of let the world know what you're doing, because you never know. Like real life scenario, last Friday I closed $500,000 for my fund. Out of a dude that I met and I talked to 3 times, so we just connected immediately. So he connected me with this other guy. We had one chat and the guy was like, I like this. 15 minutes later, he signed the commitment. If I wasn't selling every day and talking about it with passion, because I do love this and this is what I want to do, that would have never happened. So I've had a lot of other calls that I thought were going to be a lot more successful, and I left nope, there was no connection there whatsoever. What a waste of time that was. So I think that's the reality of it. Is just share the love, share the word, and eventually enough people will know and enough people will love it, so they'll find you.
I think for me, it's an interesting segue. So last year we didn't have as much traction. We were building something completely different. Had 78 investor conversations. Got a lot of people that were on the maybe side, not really any real soft commits or anything. We got one actual soft commit out of those 70 conversations, but I kept hearing the same feedback over and over again of you really need to get more traction, right? Just kept coming back to the traction piece for everything for us. And so we stopped the fundraising in its tracks and just went back and just started building more, just getting a lot of that stuff done, getting a lot more LOIs, customer interest, revamping our website, all of those things. And the conversations changed drastically. And I started basically practicing what I preached with the platform. So I actually do a lot more introductions for investors raising capital than I do and I do a lot of things for founders raising capital and stuff like that as well, just kind of operating with the mantra for what we're creating. And so I've helped more people get funded than I've gotten funded myself. But it's also interesting as you're building out that network with investors or other people, because I'm also getting into other rooms and conversations that I never thought that I would be in, just from kind of coming with that giving mentality. But also another piece of advice that I would give is being very direct on those conversations, because at the end of the day, you're not just chatting with VCs to chat with VCs. It's great to get the advice and everything else, but at the end of the day, you're driving that conversation towards, are they writing a check or not, or are we both just, having fun as bros. I have a lot of VCs that are friends, but if you're not driving that conversation home that this is about a business conversation and not a friendly conversation too, that's another thing you kind of have to make sure you're doing in some of those conversations. Because otherwise it'll go off track, just trust me. But anybody have any other questions? Alright, well, guess we're finished here with everything, so thank you guys so much for coming on. And if you want to share with everybody really quick, how people can find you and connect with you, and obviously you can connect people after too.
Yeah, Elena Ashley Router. I'm on LinkedIn, and my website is lookingglasslifestyle.com.
Olivia Eden McDonald on LinkedIn, and Tap Integration is my website.
Arturo, LinkedIn is the best for me, even though that might be a little slow. I think you can maybe hit me up on my VC website, but it's very much not meant to be public yet. But that's ap1.vc. My name's not on there. Arturo Pina, first initial, last initial, one, first name, .vc. ap1.vc. Thanks.
Didn't realize I didn't have that up, but thank you guys so much. And